Chicago, a collectively operated and intermittently broadcast movement of color. This is Game Changers. A woman is a woman, not an effing bee. Taking us to a higher ground, no highlights Game Changer, Elsa Harris, a Chicago native and gospel musician who has toured with singer-songwriter Paul Simon, performed with the Thompson Community Singers of Chicago, and presently operates the Harris House of Music, where a spectrum of music education is provided. Welcome so much, Elsa Harris. I really appreciate your time, and it's a privilege, honestly, to have you here and to interview you. So thank you so much.
The honor is mine.
Awesome. So could you please let everyone else who does not know who you are, who is Elsa Harris?
Okay. How far do you want me to go back? Okay, I get it.
Geez.
All the way back to 5 years old.
Whenever.
When I was first started taking piano lessons.
Yes.
And my mother would allow me to be in different recitals, and that really encouraged me. And I also played for assemblies at school. In elementary school, they'd always ask me to play the Star Spangled Banner or Lift Every Voice and Sing. And even in high school, I played for Oklahoma, a play we did, and I was asked to do all the music for that, and also for my graduation, which was over 985 students in Blue Island, Eisenhower High. That's where I graduated from. And I played the Star Spangled Banners for the opening of that. And I never asked to do any of this. They always told me that's what I was going to do, you know. So I'm like, I just very, very privileged that even the teachers in schools pushed me, you know. And so then I went to college, Vandercook College of Music. Actually, I looked up the name of the college in the yellow pages and said, oh, damn, I want to go to that one right there, you know. So, because it has the word music in it. And come to find out, I got a 4-year scholarship, which I only did 2.5 years of because it was interrupted by the Paul Simon tours during that time. But anyway, getting back to my educational background, that really helped me with not just playing classical instrumental music, but also playing by ear. Yes.
Wow. You've performed before so many greats, such as Ella Fitzgerald and Stevie Wonder, which led you to touring with Paul Simon. So could you tell me, or tell everyone how that played out, how it started?
Well, it started with performing for the Newport Jazz Festival in New York City, just before it started at Radio City Music Hall, and Ella Fitzgerald, Paul Simon, Stevie Wonder, I think even Ray Charles might have been there, Bette Midler, I don't know who all else. I was just so honored to be a part of the group to actually do the 30-minute gospel segment, because I learned that even jazz and R&B singers want to hear how gospel singers make the runs and everything. So anyway, it was a beautiful 30 to 45-minute segment. And afterwards, realizing that Paul Simon and Garfunkel had severed their musical partnership, Paul Simon was looking for someone to take that place. And he gave Jesse Dixon a call not too soon afterwards, and it started from there. A whole 8-year relationship with Paul, taking us and his band, his whole entourage, all over the world, including Paris, England, Royal Albert Hall in England, and Paris and Israel, Caesarea, Tel Aviv, you name it. We went places, even in Caesarea, that it was so historical. They told us, these are the dressing rooms. JD's was our nickname. JD's, you'll be dressing in the dressing rooms where the Christians remained before the lions came out to kill them. And we're like, what? We're glad that was many years ago, because the ground was still sand you know. But anyway, we got dressed in our long, pretty caftan gowns, and we went out and did a concert, not knowing whether they would throw tomatoes at us or not, because we are singing to Jews. I didn't realize that much until hindsight.
Yeah.
The whole 8 years we sang to mainly a Jewish audience, but it was a blessing from God to be able to sing gospel music. You know, we did Bridge Over Troubled Water, Sound of Silence, and a lot of his songs. We background him on, but we had our own segment in the program to do our little A and B selection, and both the songs were about Jesus. One was Jesus is the Answer by Andre Crouch.
Yes.
And then one was Jesse wrote one song called What Do You Call Him? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it had Jesus in it so many times, we just knew they were going to throw tomatoes at us. But we did it not just in the United States, but all over the world. We did those same 2 A and B selections. And Paul Simon would stand back with the band and beat the tambourine while we did it.
Wow.
So he's a very open Jew. That's all I got to say.
Solid.
And I just have so many pleasant memories. I don't have time to tell you all of them about touring for 8 years on the Paul Simon tour. He is such a sweet person, just nice and kind. Hasn't changed all these years. Still gives me tickets to come to his concerts when he comes to the city of Chicago, and free backstage passes. I got pictures to prove it. It's just so beautiful. Who would think? Black me, you know. But I'm very grateful and very honored.
I am honored as well, and so excited to have you here with Elsa Harris, a game changer. And so my next question: you've toured with so many, performed before so many great artists, and toured with Paul Simon, which led you to create the I Thank God album. Could you give us the history, or give everyone viewing the history of I Thank God and where that came from?
Yes, it came from my first being a member of the Thompson Community Singers. They took me in at 17 years old once I auditioned, and they figured I could play. So they used me to play and sing.
Okay.
So I didn't really know I had that kind of voice that I could sing that high until I started backgrounding at Chess Recording Studio for Minnie Riperton. And I would harmonize underneath her on these sounds. I'm like, oh, I could do this. So I Thank God, if you listen to the vocal, my vocal lead is very high. And I can't do that now, I'm sorry to say, but I enjoyed doing it then. And so in my 20s, early 20s, I recorded that song, I Thank God, which was directed by Reverend Jesse Dixon. He was the minister of music of the Thompson Community Singers, and Reverend Milton Bronson. Okay, and I wanted to do a second tape, but they said, no, this is it. We got what we want. Thank you very much. And that's how I Thank God started. Now, the CD that's out now is my playing I Thank God. I studied Jesse Dixon's accompanist is he played on the CD many years ago, and I studied how to play it myself because I can no longer sing it. So since I was asked by Stephen Dolans of Siren Records to record, I said, okay. And he loves I Thank God, so I said, I'll play it for you, along with other instrumentals. And you can find it on Amazon, CD Baby, YouTube, whatever, right now.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I personally have it as one of my morning meditation songs.
Bless your heart.
Classical. It's special.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Leading into the next question, within gospel music industry and your entire musical career, As far as racial and gender discrimination and inequalities or equalities, could you tell us some experiences that you had, or have you ever experienced?
Well, I'll start with the gender experience. You won't believe this. This is comical to me.
Okay.
Jesse Dixon did a lot of Assembly of God concerts throughout the United States in a season of his life.
Okay.
And I was the accompanist who followed him on a lot of those occasions. One time, a little girl came up to me after the concert was over and said, "Wow, you play like a man." I'm like, "Thank you. I guess that's thank you." But what she was saying was I played such full piano because my left hand, he taught me how to play bass with my left hand, pat my foot if there's no drummer, and a lot of times when we did concerts out of the country, the big churches with the high ceilings, they wouldn't allow large instruments.
Okay.
He introduced that, especially in the country of Norway, which we did over 30 years in, back and forth, and I'm looking forward to going again this March, by the way. The promoter still asks us to come. But, of course, he's not here to go, but I played for Minister, oh God, what's her name? Angie Prim.
Okay.
Now, but anyway, getting back to my story, that was the only gender problem I can remember. This little girl saying you play like a man. So it doesn't bother me that I play like a man. But a church still hired me on the West Side to play for them every Sunday. And they pay me real good.
So you are a minister of music as well, yeah?
Well, at my church I was, and the younger generation, the millenniums, have taken it over. Now I'm not the minister of music, I'm more of the mother of the minister of music.
Gotcha.
But I appreciate that. They're letting me retire, and that's good. I'll be playing for a funeral tomorrow because I haven't retired from doing that. But anyway, the race relation part.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I used to live down the street from here with a combination Polish-Irish family. And the mother and father treated me just like I was one of the family. I really learned, people make jokes about Polish people, but I learned how to fold up that Christmas paper, wrapping paper, put it in the closet, and use it again for next year, okay? I learned that's just one of the things I learned from them. The mother was very frugal. She could take any kind of furniture, bring it into the house, and redo it and make it look brand new. I mean, the family was just so precious to me. They really treated me like I was their own. No racial discrimination at all, except for one time baby sister, who's grown at the time, teaching school, decides that she wants to take me to the southwest side on 60th something Street, where they just had, a riot. And she wanted to go shopping. I said, "Maureen, you're getting ready to start some mess that's unnecessary. I don't know if I want to do this." She said, "Oh, come on, you'll be with me. It'll be okay." So we go in the store. Policeman's at the front door of the clothing store. We go in, and of course he's following me. And once he hears us talking together, and she made sure, she said, "Oh yeah, look at this, Elsa, look at that," And I'm like, "Yeah, that's nice, And I'm not buying anything, I'm just with her." Finally, he backed off. Okay. So I felt a little racial discrimination there, but not much because, after all, she wanted to show them that black and white can live together. And I appreciated that, Anyway, the only other racial time I remember was the day Martin Luther King was assassinated. I was in college. That was in 1968. Yeah, you do the math. And coming from school, going to the dormitory, which is right across the street, racing on the grass with my white roommate, because I didn't have a problem with it. I picked up an exhaust pipe that was in the grass, and I said, "Mary, look, a snake in the grass." Well, she's 15 feet ahead of me. She's already past it. And she said, "That's not a snake, Elsa. That's an exhaust pipe." I said, "Okay, I couldn't fool you on that one." I didn't know the police were passing by. We were both even unaware at the time that so much had taken place. To make a long story short, she went up to her room. I was practicing Beethoven Pathétique, and there was a grand piano in the vestibule area. So I took off my black leather jacket, which I was naive about wearing. That was a gang symbol right there. And I started to practice. So when the police came in and asked the receptionist, did you see a black girl coming here chasing a white girl with an exhaust pipe? They said, no, we didn't see anything like that. And anyway, he looked, I saw him peek in and look at me, and I'm going like, whoa, what is the police here for? You know, just a whole naive situation. And they never expected me because I'm playing classical music on a grand piano. Yeah. So anyway, they let the receptionist let my roommate know. She came down and let me know, and we just both fell out laughing about it. So that's the only time I remember racial discrimination from the police, actually. Wow. And I can understand why, because that's just the way things were, even in the 60s. Here we are, 2020. Can you believe it?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I can, because it's such a small window gap, but with there being so many progressives, it's still mind-boggling.
Okay.
It is. I feel like it's almost a mental illness that, I don't know how you collectively cure that, you know?
I don't either. You just have to live your life one person at a time, show love and appreciation and respect, and let God handle the rest in your life, because there's no way we could do it alone. We have to all have that mindset to want to help one another and really encourage one another to get along with each other in this time. I was so glad Paul Simon was open to that, you know, and Europe was open to that with the Jesse Dixon singers. All the places that we went, we would treat royalty. Now on the street, shopping in the stores, sometimes that was a different story.
Yeah.
You know, they appreciate you on stage, but I have to be totally honest, there's still a little discrimination if you're not showing that you're the same person that was on stage. Okay? That's the end of that subject.
So, well, Let My People Go.
Yes.
Could you give us a little brief story on that?
Sure. Bill Hampson, promoter of England concerts, gospel concert, traveled with Jesse Dixon for years, way before that album came out. Here again, after the death of Jesse Dixon, he wanted to record me. Okay, so I go to England, and he couldn't afford, this was very economical recording, he couldn't afford to bring a band over, so we used the English band. And couldn't afford to bring any singers over, so for the most part, I had to sing my background and then go back and sing my lead. I had to put the piano down part on it, then go back and put the part over it. We had to just piecemeal it together. But it was a beautiful record, a beautiful CD that you can still get. Actually, that was my very, very first CD of Elsa Harris in my life, yes. And what I wanted to say was, what you thought, Elsa? Oh, Epiphany and Trust is an organization in England, based in England, who are against human trafficking all over the world, especially in India, where they capture girls who are in these, I forget what you call them, those houses.
Like hostels.
Yes, hostels. And they actually brought back hidden film that they gotten from there. And we do concerts in England to help promote the onslaught of human trafficking. And that's one reason the CD is called Let My People Go.
That's solid work.
When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Hit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua hit the battle of Jericho.
Harris House of Music. You aren't just a gospel music legend, but you're a gospel or a music teacher, a music educator. So could you please give us the story on the Harris House of Music and what classes are offered, and then also how COVID-19, how you've adjusted for COVID-19?
Okay, that's a big one.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
now I can minimize it a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, Harris House of Music started with people calling me up, asking me,
Yeah.
teach me how to play like you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Okay, yeah, I've been playing for churches since I was 12 years old. So being minister of music at this church, that church, or whatever, I taught vocal parts as well. And people wanted to learn that. And there wasn't as many private piano teachers at the time.
Yeah.
But I said, okay. So I bootlegged it for a while. And finally I said, I better pay taxes on this and do it the right way. So, and then I went on and did all the legalistics of Harris House of Music. Now I am an incorporated S corporation, and I appreciate just a home-based business when I am home, teaching piano, organ, and voice. And it kind of started from that. What was your other question?
Now with COVID-19 or with the pandemic going on, how have you adjusted?
Oh, I adjusted by using the Zoom. Okay, I use the Zoom,
Awesome.
and I still teach vocal and instrumental by Zoom. And actually, I enjoy it up to a certain extent, because Zoom, I'm not talking about you too much, but I got to say, there's a delayed reaction between, I can't accompany for my student on Zoom because they get it a second later.
Oh, you know what? I'll verify. I'm one of your students. So
Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Other than that, we can communicate and we make it through some kind of way.
Yeah, we do.
So yeah, so that's where I am with that.
Awesome. Solid. All right, Elsa. So could you please give us a personal exercise on how to do a vocal warm-up, just for anyone who's using their voice on the regular?
Yes, I would love to, but I want to back up just a minute.
Yeah.
And also mention that I'm writing an ear training book for church, mainly for church musicians.
We talked about this on the
To
show.
learn how to play, because in the black church, you got to know how to find the key, find the chords, figure out how to put the chords in order, and play for Sister McGillicuddy, who just came in and the pastor said, come up and give us a song. You know, that happens a lot in the black church. And you all don't have a clue what we church musicians go through with that. And so, you know, I made it through as a 12-year-old crying and snotting and just, I can't find the chords, I can't find the key. Now I know how to do it. I know how to find that scale, build those chords on it and everything. I want to write that book because I don't want anybody to ever go through what I went through down the years. Now if you start a song off a cappella, I know you're in one of the 12 God-given keys, because God didn't give us but 12. And if you're in another key, you're not from this planet. So yeah, I'm going to put you in the key and I'm going to put those chords on it, and God, the Holy Spirit in me, does the rest. Okay, now back to your questions.
Yes. All right. So
Vocally. Yes.
For anyone walking about using their voice on the regular, what is the a few exercises, or just one that you can
Starting
suggest?
with the breathing exercise. First, you should sit up straight. You got that right away. Shoulders should be back.
Right.
And your diaphragm, which is located right around your belly area, should go outward when you inhale and inward when you exhale. Somehow or another, some adults, not all, but some adults get it backwards during that period. So I have to actually train adults how to breathe all over again.
Yeah, I had to train
Inhale, out. Exhale, in. So it's in here, out there, out, in here, out, up here. So if you can remember the opposite direction, you will have your breathing right. And then you can go into what's called the dog pen. And do it for about 15 seconds. Yes. And that'll help get these diaphragm muscles going, and the muscles that are connected to the diaphragm. Not just in the front, but also the sides and the back. Then you're ready to get some singing going. You know, also another one I give away for free, and then you have to call me and get a lesson. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15, at least up to 20 on one breath.
Good,
Holding
like
that diaphragm.
25,
Oh, that's right. That's your account. Good for you. You're one of my special students. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to throw this right at you.
Okay.
What is one of my vocal exercises
One of your vocal exercises.
that you remember today?
Oh, jeez.
Start it off, I help you.
Okay. Let's think of one.
I'm going to blow the button.
All right, I got one.
Okay, what is that called?
The lip roll.
Very good.
Yeah, I feel like such a kindergartner right now.
Okay, that's still not a vocal example. That's
not,
a breathing.
Yeah.
What's a vocal? With sound, vocal sound.
All right. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Yeah, that's where you are at this point with your vocal lessons.
Okay.
We'll go further at a later time.
Yes, coming up soon.
Okay.
Undisclosed. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elsa. This is an honor and personal privilege again
Thank you.
to interview you and your life's work. I mean, I appreciate and I thank you for the quality that you continue to provide in your music career and for also training us and teaching us on how to harness our voice. Taking us to our higher ground with her most recent classical gospel album entitled I Thank God, gospel great Elsa Harris, an honorary game changer. Let us switch up the notes, harden the bass, then soften the melody to a nation's more than a centuries-old symphony as we pay tribute to the life of Chadwick Boseman, raising the color of humanity and one of the world's most heavily white-faced comic book media franchises. No uplifts your work, your strength, your life, and your legacy. Thank you, Chadwick Boseman. Rest well. This is a collectively operated and intermittently broadcast movement of color. Inhale love, exhale hate. Take care.